Oh, this is going to make up for it. This is going to make up for me being late. Is me acting. What is it?
Panting? Will that help?
Well, I think of me as bowing and scraping.
Bottom of the barrel, are we talking here, or what are we?
No, bowing and scraping is more like, you know what I mean, right? I've never heard, I don't know
the phrase bowing and scraping.
Bowing and scraping is that unless I've made that by myself.
You're hyperventilating like you ran here.
Well, what happened was I went downstairs.
Okay.
Bowing and scraping is something I think I'm correct about, is when someone is like overly apologizing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But the thing is, in my mind, I feel like I've had the same excuse for 130 test shows. No, I don't think I've had an excuse. But I've tried to keep it within 5 minutes late. Just 5 minutes late, thinking that's a big thing. Well, first of all, do you agree that coming early is not good?
It depends how early.
Well, tell me how. I cannot stand when people come earlier because I'm never ready.
Right.
5 to 9?
5 to 9, I could accommodate you very easily.
In other words, you wouldn't mind to have to deal with that problem.
That would not be a problem.
So what happened was, I'm late. I mean, I'm really late this time. This is the latest I've ever been to a podcast, except I think one time I went to get you something at CVS, and that...
Even then you weren't this late.
Oh, my God. Now, you said to me, it's all right, when I came in. I said, I'm really sorry, Josh. And he said, it's okay. And I felt that you were sincere.
I was. In fact, talking about it only irritates me more than the actual thing. The actual thing was sort of course of normal business to me.
Yeah. The irritation is that I somehow want to be told I'm okay.
You're okay. If it'll end this I'm late floor show, you're great.
Well, okay. Can I tell people, if they are doing a podcast, how to avoid what happened to me? Here's what you do.
Don't go to sleep before when you're supposed to be somewhere.
Well, I went at 7:00. I said to myself, well, I often talk to myself. I couldn't go one more step. I was so exhausted. So I said, I'm going to sleep with the mask. I have a brand new mask. Everything's new. My hose is new.
Yeah.
My mask is new.
It's like an APAP.
It's like
you're working with your APAP now.
That is so much better than the joke I was percolating.
Sorry.
My joke was the mask is good. Also, my CPAP machine seems to be working well. In other words, I set it up like a sexual outfit. Very good coffee, Josh.
Thank you.
Oh, by the way, I'm getting over a cold. I am not.
You have a throaty thing going tonight.
Right. And I got a bad cold. Not a bad cold. There's no good colds.
That would explain why you needed to sleep, probably, too.
Yes. And I just got back from San Diego, and boy, are my obligations to my family tired. Laugh more hard so it doesn't come out like someone will hear it from the family and be angry at me. But I'm very proud of that one. I have a variety of those.
Okay.
My ability to be prompt. My dog ate my ability to be on time is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But this one was particularly good. Do you think I should revel in it for a while?
Seems like it. Seems like your plan.
You know what it is? How about this? I'm going to use this tact.
All right.
When you've been, I'm very sorry I'm late tonight, Josh, but when you've been nominated for Best Actor, it's not, I don't know how, it's like, yes, you can relate. Yes, you were in a movie. Yes, it was your first movie. But now when these accolades are starting to come in.
As I said last night, Andy, you are the only one who can make me not happy for you.
That's good. That's good radio. Are you telling me that's not good radio?
So congratulations.
Thank you.
Before I start hating you, congratulations.
Well, thank you, and congratulations to us.
Yes. We are the Fiddling Horse won Best in Show at the Golden Gate Film Festival this past weekend. And Andy Kindler was nominated for Best Actor.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to thank everybody from, what's the name of our show? Thought Spiral listeners. And, the first thing I did when I found out that we won and I was not, what do you think the first thing I did? Guess what the first thing I did was?
Obnoxious tweet?
Nope. look it up and see if it was a thing.
Yeah, it's not really that much of a thing.
I looked it up for two reasons.
Yeah.
To see if it was similarly named to another festival at the Golden Gate. But it seems to be a legitimate organization upon itself.
Yes.
But you have to question, not just because I got nominated. Maybe this is. I don't know what's happening, but have we already talked about going to New York?
Yeah, because we did it the day we came back.
Oh, and
you were on crazy speed.
I wanted to ask you a question. No, I'll ask it to you later because it's probably not appropriate.
No, I had deleted that whole part of last week's show. Anyway.
What was that whole part?
Exactly.
Don't you think we do a? I had
to edit so much shit out of last week's show because
how
speed.
Funny it was.
No.
Oh, so you think I sounded speedy?
Yes. I said so at the time.
Oh, well, don't let that dissuade you. Don't let it dissuade you from being friends with me, I did not sense that. I just thought I was bad. No, I don't know what I knew something was going on. Okay, let's not spend half of this podcast. Okay. The last thing I want to do, start late, spend half this podcast having you remind me of what happened last week.
Okay.
But I did look today, and I looked at I always look at the summation of the show.
Yeah.
And in the summation of the show, it said, Andy and Josh talk about their visit to New York. Yes. Now I remember that we talked about it.
We did indeed.
So
reveled in it even.
We did revel in it. Did you cut out the part about me? I'm looking for more things to cut out.
Yeah.
Did you cut out the part about how we split the check?
Nope, left that in.
Good. So leave it in again so people can really get the feeling that, hey, I guess this guy's never picked up a check before.
That is like the ultimate act like you've been there before gesture, and yet you can't.
I can't do it. You told me that one time, act like you've been there before when I was getting too excited at a party. It's Kenan Thompson, whatever the thing was, too excited.
Right.
I love parts of Saturday Night Live, but it didn't go well this last week.
It was a bad show, I thought.
I want to blame.
That's why I used it as an example last week, which I'm sure you don't remember, of me, of things that you still do sort of out of habit, but don't like anymore.
But I thought as recently as a year ago, the writing wasn't so great last year, but it still had so many great characters. But now it seems like we should blame Steve Higgins because he's the head writer, right?
No, he's the producer.
That's right. He's the producer. Do you think can I ask you a question? Do you think
your friends are the head writers?
What's that?
Your friends are the head writers.
Don't screw up my career. But let me ask you this. Don't you think I should know by now that what the producer credit means on that show?
Doesn't matter.
So the credit for Steve Higgins is he's not doing anything on it, but you got to give him the credit.
No, I think he's still the producer. I think he's still, he's been the guy under Lauren for years and years.
Hey, the guy under Lauren, not his wife?
And then his part-time gig is Jimmy Fallon's sidekick.
Right. You can do this forever and not come up with a reason, but I have never seen sketches go so far off of what seemed like I couldn't even figure out what the sketch was often.
I honestly, none of it stuck with me.
I like Chance the Rapper.
I like Chance the Rapper.
I think he's great. I want to be Chance the Rapper.
I think they betrayed him with this script.
Well, first of all, they didn't have to have him in he didn't want to be in every single thing, whatever they were doing, or now you're going to be a drunk mailman. I mean, it seemed like there were a lot of things that they wanted him to be.
Well, you always want to try to get your guest star into the sketch.
Right. I feel like maybe Lorne Michaels isn't as day-to-day as he used to be. They'll climb out of it or not.
It's, tough gig.
They do have funny people on the show. I will say that. When they first had all those white people come on at once, I was like, oh, my God. But now I know, I feel like Mikey Day, those people are all good in their own way.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm saying to myself, get off this topic, Andy. Here's what I'm saying internally. Okay. You said a thing. You got the laugh at the beginning of the show.
Well, how can we be so simpatico in our heads and yet not out loud?
No, because in simpatico out loud is just me stopping and then launching into how is your week mode. You don't want that.
No, not especially. There's got
Is that their only two choices?
There's got to be a second gear.
That's not good.
No, that's not the best.
We had fires today in Los Angeles, and
it's super smoky out still.
That's why I was late.
Yeah?
Yeah, because...
Couldn't find the place.
No, I had smoke and inhalation lateness. You haven't heard of it? What was the He wouldn't even do the full snore. He wouldn't do the full snore for me. And we're back. Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, by the way, do your crappy, tell me your crappy ZZ Bottom joke again, will you?
You know, a lot of people don't know that in the 80s, I toured as ZZ Bottom.
Yeah, right. More like ZZZ Bottom.
I don't get that at all. Oh. That's my tag for it now. I am sorry about the coughing. There's nothing we can do about the coughing because this isn't like a voiceover, right?
No. Let's go back to one.
I had another dog over my house.
I heard you telling Lucky that when you came in.
And the dog's name was, and that's also how I feel bad. Because normally I get 2-3 minutes with Lucky. And now here's how I know that I'm mentally, well, I don't know what the word for it is. Something's wrong with me. Because I actually think Lucky has held it against me now.
Yeah.
That can't be true.
No, yeah, it can. No, she'll hold a grudge.
Well, both my wife and I were saying Sailor is the name of the dog.
Yeah.
And Sailor, we're like, why doesn't Sailor love us more? We could tell at some point that Sailor was...
Whose dog was Sailor?
Sailor is a friend of, old friend of Susan's, Donna, that we've known for many, many years, that grew up in El Centro with her. And the dog's name is Sailor. I'm not crazy about Sailor as a name for a dog.
Yeah, not really. But I'm not that thrilled about Lucky either. I just couldn't change it when we got her.
Well, Lucky makes me feel... Why?
Huh?
Why?
It's pedestrian.
No, not pedestrian. Why couldn't you change it?
Because she was named Lucky. She was already a year old named Lucky.
I didn't know how that worked.
It seems mean to change a dog's name. And difficult.
Well, a cat...
When they answer to it.
Oh, okay. It's different because I named the cat... I had Misty's son, Lucky. Maybe that's why I have trouble telling the sex between dogs. But her name... We did change her name to George, his name,
but
cats don't care.
Cats don't care.
Right, cats don't care. Never came when we called him George or Lucky.
That's right.
Wow, but so to me,
I actually had a scare with Lucky earlier today. So
what happened?
She was just she got very lethargic at the hour that she's usually her most hyper, and I kind of freaked a little.
Like what is the symptoms of lethargic?
Just lying on the bed when normally she'd be bounding about. And not,
Could you figure out what caused it?
No. Luckily she's fine now. But there was like an hour or two there where I was like, vet?
Oh, my God.
Like she might have eaten something poisonous or something, I thought.
This is the type of thing that I think is going to dissuade me from being a dog owner.
Well, they can't talk, so there is always that.
Oh, they can't talk, so you're saying I really can't help them. Because I'll spend an hour
being a worst-case scenario stylist, it's not the best thing that they can't talk. But she's fine. And I'm happy about that. I was worried.
Well, I walked the dog the other night, too. Wow. The whole thing. Picked up after itself. I mean, the dog didn't. I picked up after.
Yeah.
Also scooped up, I think, half the lawn because I'm not familiar with it.
You went with the wide grip.
Well, it's a small dog. You don't know what's happening.
Right. You went down like a skilled crane.
Shmee. But it was fun to have a doggy in the house for a few hours. So that was good. A little test run. But we didn't ask for...
Are you thinking on getting a dog?
I mean, we are, but... there's so many different things. I think I should get my album out before I get a dog. Don't you think?
I think... as the Democrats say, you could walk and chew gum at the same time.
I don't understand why they say that. That is not a hard thing to do.
No.
Have we done this one before?
No, go for it. Go
okay. I can walk and chew gum at the same time. Then I say to you, and...
Right.
What's the point?
Well, the initial phrase
I understand
was
what it
meant
means.
Yes.
Yeah. But can you imagine how they made fun of the person who couldn't walk and chew gum at the same time?
Yes.
When he first came
Actually,
out?
they probably did. They didn't, probably. Probably they were more sensitive than that because he had deep troubles.
Oh, because you're saying he's a special needs?
Yeah.
And we'll be back with more talking about topics that can only end up negatively. Special needs, that kind of thing. That kind of a deal. No, don't think there's something wrong with me now. Just because I'm trying to save being late every second, saving it by saying the next sentence, genius, and or being solicitous. Josh, I love those new glasses. Or Josh, where'd you get that shirt? Was that a tree? Nothing. I got nothing.
You really do have nothing. Yeah.
Well, no, I think what I have is.
But you've arrayed it on a platter somehow.
So with me, without my presentation, would be good.
Yeah. So I woke up this morning and I'm listening to NPR and they're talking about the fire in Sepulveda Pass. And I hear the name of the road that Mark Thompson lives on. Mark Thompson, who I do the Edge podcast.
Yeah. Oh, he lives near here?
No, he lives near the fires. In fact, so near the fires that they said the name of his road on the radio. So I got up and texted him, and in fact, he had been up all night watching on the web from San Francisco as his house nearly burned down, and these houses around him did in fact burn down.
Oh my God!
Those 6 houses that burned down today were his neighborhood, basically.
How close to him? Doesn't matter really, but
no, like singed his porch. And he was like watching on his home webcam, and that went out right before the flames came. And he was, watching Fox News on the web, basically from San Francisco.
Now you're saying Fox News to indicate his political leanings?
No, Fox local
5,
local
Fox,
11,
Fox 5 or 11, depending on your town.
which he used to be the weatherman on.
Wow. Which in LA?
And so I turned on Fox LA this morning to see because they had the best helicopter shots. And then Mark is now on the phone to them in the studio as they're taking a camera through his property.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
Oh.
And the fireman had to bust down the front door to get in.
To his door.
To his thing, yeah. And so they're literally like pointing this is where we do the podcast a lot of the time. They're pointing in the windows at the camera going, okay, everything's here is fine, Mark. And he's on the phone on TV watching his house,
Had they wanted him to go? Or it would have been too fast? It wasn't like there was no warning that could have had him.
Well, he had a house sitter there and who had to get his cats out and evacuate. He was out of town when this happened.
Oh.
Is my point.
Oh, okay. How come I couldn't get that from me?
I don't know. I was clear that you weren't getting
No, well, why? Why?
He was in San Francisco watching all night on the web as his house almost burned.
I thought, here's how I heard it. And maybe there's any doctors in the house they could figure out. I heard that he was watching a feed from San Francisco in his house. So there's nothing he could have done to have saved anything, but he would have been sad. He still would have been very. How about the rest of his family? Does he have kids?
He does not.
Does he have a wife?
No, he has a girlfriend. Oh. She was in San Francisco.
I couldn't deal with the fire. I mean, I say that now. I'm sure I would, but I have very valuable things over. For some reason, I never was scared of fires until recently because maybe there's been a lot of them.
I think it's because there's been a lot of them and they're near us.
Yeah. And what is there? Are we just lucky that our neighborhood is not burned down, or are we in a slightly less burned down area?
Well, we're in not a burned down area because we're not surrounded by dried out shrubs and scrub, and we're surrounded by well watered lawns.
Well, then, are you saying that Trump had something going? He was right when he said we should rake the forest more.
Yes. Yes.
That's got to be scary. Well, being scary is losing your life or loved one's life. But fire to me is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar lost his whole house once. He said ultimately it was a good experience, in a way.
Yeah.
But
it's pretty easy to get philosophical about it once it's all gone, I think.
I know. I know.
It's like you have two choices.
Yeah. Well, in my case, when we say all gone, there's nothing that would be. What do I got over there?
What would you grab in a fire? What would be the 3 things you would grab?
So I really have no good. I want to say my my laptop.
Yeah.
And I have no other. What else? I don't know. My wife's rings or something.
All right.
Maybe my guitar. But you can't run out of the place. If you have to run, you have a guitar in your hand. Forget the guitar. Laptop.
I'm not saying your house is on fire. I'm saying you're told your house is going to be on fire in a half hour.
Half hour.
Yeah.
Well, then I would get a dolly. Okay, I got the any like papers that I thought my passports I would take, and it's because I'm a Jew. I think money first, and then the things that are valuable to me, like my paintings are there, but I don't know that I'd be
no valuable. We're talking about.
What would you do? Come on, pick up the slack.
I would be all data for me. It would be laptop, a couple of hard drives that have. Movie master hard drives. It would be all data, papers.
That's true. I think I agree with you there. But I don't have I wish when I made the bitter, would I be saving the bitter masters at this point? I don't think so.
No, but would you be saving the current masters?
I don't have the current masters for my stand-up show. Is that what you mean? Thank God, right? That is a good question for a quiz show, though. I don't know. But definitely, I think you do think about things that you'd have to... Unless you really had something that... If I had a small antique thing that I loved, or something that meant... There's no object I can think of that really means that much to me.
Yeah.
No,
I'm the same. There isn't really anything that my life would be desperately sad that I lost.
Well, in the 80s, it's like you take it by decade. In the 80s, I'd try and grab my stereo system.
Would you?
No. Because I sold stereos and because for a living and sold things like that, I do, and because obviously your mind goes to computers and hard drives. I would think of like what's small that I really need.
Right.
But I also think what I probably would do is just knowing how I operate as an OCD person is I probably just run around the apartments, right. like a chicken or a dog chasing its tail,
right.
And then
run out of the house with the remote.
I definitely would get anything that I thought you could store things on that had things that I cared about.
Yeah.
But Susan has would be photograph, negatives and things like that.
Right.
I can't speak for her completely. But the thing that I don't have that Johnny Carson had, I don't have a huge underground vault with all of the things I've done on TV protected. My VHS early sets.
Yeah.
I don't have those protected. I have a safety deposit. Is it called safety deposit box?
Yeah.
And I think I have a zip disk in there. I'm not good at the things you're supposed to do. Do you have a safety? Do you have one too?
A safe deposit box?
Why? Oh, it's not safety then.
It's a safe deposit box. Yes.
You are.
Close enough.
You're angry at me. You are angry at me. No, you're not angry just because I'm late, but you're angry because I'm late. And
the late thing is way past.
Okay,
it's way out of my head. I am not holding any grudge whatsoever about you being late. Gone. Never happened. I will only remember it when I edit this podcast.
That's unbelievable to me. I'm such a horrible person. I really appreciate you forgiving me. What if I killed somebody? What if I did something
different matter than being 10 or 15 minutes
late? Right. But would you forgive me if I hit you in the car by mistake?
Mistake, yes, I would. If I felt you did it on purpose, we'd have a different conversation.
Well, yeah, that would be different. That's not an OCD. If I really did murder someone, there'd be nothing OCD about it. I couldn't kill somebody because of the OCD. No, I think if you're really...
You couldn't handle having killed somebody because of the OCD.
Not because of the anger part of it? No, I don't think... now that I thought when I listened to all these true crime shows that I'd want to go out and, strangle a couple of people.
No, you're a walking Poe story.
Yeah. But I think there are people who are frightened of the dark like me who also murder. You know how I'm
Probably.
frightened? Yeah, they murder maybe because of
They're
that.
the ones who claim self-defense.
Yeah, like you, Bernard. Who's the guy in the train?
Getz.
That guy, I never liked that guy.
I actually made a Bernard Getz joke on Twitter a couple weeks ago.
Did anybody remember it?
A couple people did.
What was the joke?
The joke was, remember when Trump had that big press conference with like the president of Denmark? He went off on this rant. President of Denmark was standing there. I said, when that was happening, I was like, I bet the president of Denmark feels like the guy who was sitting next to Bernie Getz on the train.
Do they ever? I wonder if they ever interviewed the guy who sat next to Bernie Getz.
I'm sure they did in court.
Because it's
called a witness.
Did he get a not guilty thing?
I can't even remember.
I think he did get a not guilty thing. He got a not guilty thing just for the people in his train he killed.
I think he just said, "I'm not guilty" about it.
Whatever. Now
I don't feel the least bit guilty, if that's what you mean, Your Honor.
He didn't feel guilty. He had some.
He didn't.
No, but I wonder where is he now? I wonder.
He's sailing on monkey business with Donna Rice.
I heard a reference to monkey business today.
Did you?
Yeah, on one of the political shows, which I really can't. Here's what I do every Sunday: I tape all the shows except the ones I hate.
Which are those?
Well, the ones I really Meet the Press, I don't tape because I hate it.
Yeah.
I just can't stand. It's not fun hate too.
Yeah.
He's just a horrible guy. I mean, boring guy. Someone had made a comment that what's annoying. Well, this is when Washington was up 2-0.
Yeah.
That there's all these annoying Washington pundit types who their only way that they have fun is to express how much they love the Nationals. I mean, I kind of knew what he was saying. It's like people who are overly into it beyond just like it. I obviously am not repeating it well, but when they were up 2-0, that's what that guy said. Okay, nothing again. Do you think? Here's the way I look at it now: that the Washington, it's just because of thinking about teams I've liked, or just thinking about negativity. I feel like this is going to be like 100-0 the next game. Houston's going to win 400-0.
Yeah,
they're going home. Aren't they going home?
I think so.
Yeah, it's 2-3-2. I think is how they do it now.
Yeah,
but that's not the way to watch it, is it? And then I'm saying to myself, why do I want the Nationals to win? I don't. I should because they've never won.
Yeah.
Who won last year?
I think
Houston. No.
The Astros. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't remember that either.
Yeah.
So you're not rooting for anybody particularly, and you don't watch. I bet.
Not. I haven't been watching this year now.
I thought I would be always watching the playoffs of everything and getting excited like I did. You can't recreate it.
Baseball has gotten boring to me. It's just has. I can't help it. As much as I feel like it's almost somewhat of a betrayal of something I once really loved a lot, it's just too damn boring for me.
I think I know what you mean because it's incredibly exciting when things happen, but it is incredibly boring when they don't. And I'm not one of these people who sits in the stands and goes to the sweet science or whatever they say about boxing and looking at the angles and doing all the things.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm angry because I really can't tell the difference between pitches. That was a cutter. That was a slicker.
Right. I didn't know that you were angry.
But can you tell? Can you tell what the pitch is?
I can tell some of them.
Yeah, if it's a big curve.
Yeah, exactly.
But do you know the difference between a curve and a breaking ball? I don't think there is really.
No, there's not.
Or a screwball. The other problem is I find it hard now to want to root for Houston because of that one asshole who got fired.
But he got fired.
Yeah, but what is he? I don't even understand that. He goes, I love Acuna. I love the guy. Yeah, you happy now? Female reporters who are against people beating their wives?
Yeah.
How drunk? He said he was drunk.
Yeah.
How drunk do you have to be to yell that? I don't know. I wasn't there, but it sounded creepy to me. And then I'm always looking for a reason to further like the team I like and to further not like the team who I don't like, but then I don't. And then Houston's in the South. I don't like Texas.
It bothers me that the Astros are in the American League now.
That just confuses me.
And it's Texas, so right away I have a little bit of a bias.
Yeah, we have to root for the Nationals.
They used to be the Expos. They were sad sack and lovable team.
That's right. You loved them as the Expos, named after Montreal Expo.
Yes.
The Montreal Expo. And nobody supported them up there that much, I think was what the thing was.
Yes. That's why they were almost contracted.
And then I looked up the history of the Washington Senators. I forgot what happened to them.
Well, the Washington Senators, the first Washington Senators became the Minnesota Twins. Then the second Washington Senators became the Texas Rangers.
Ah.
Then they didn't let them have another Washington Senators.
until
the Nationals came.
The Nationals. Well, I guess I'm going to have to get into Ultimate Fighting, which I'm not into either. I don't want to think of. I'm trying to think now. Is this true of all sports now?
Yeah.
Not for you, because you'll watch basketball.
Still love the basketball.
So in other words, it doesn't matter who's in the finals. You're watching.
Yeah, I'll watch the finals. I like the playoffs a lot.
But you don't watch early season basketball.
No, I do actually, but not with any.
So why do you think it's more exciting sport?
Yeah, it's a more exciting sport.
I think of football as a more exciting sport than both of them, but now I'd say my favorite sport is still football. That in terms of like excitement, length of game, and a lot of stuff is going on, except for the CTEs or whatever they're called.
Yeah, I think football is maybe 12 minutes of action over the course of 3 hours.
Every play is pretty good.
Right, but there's 45 seconds between each one.
Well, then you must think the original football, soccer, you wouldn't watch that if they paid you. There's nothing going on there.
No, there's constantly something going on there, as opposed to football where they stop.
But what's going on there? Oh, he threw it down to the end. Oh.
I'm not saying I like soccer, but I'm saying that your argument for why I don't like soccer is faulty.
Well, in football, first down, right?
Yeah.
Boom. First down. You go in, you get a sandwich. Now you're ready for second down. Boom. You go to smoke some pot. Right. Boom. So there's just things to do between the plays.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe the sports. I think if I was a great athlete, maybe I'd feel differently.
Would you?
No. Yes, I probably would feel differently, but I would be.
You'd be more blowhardy.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I wouldn't deal with it well.
No.
If I was like a big guy who could do things,
right,
I'd just be relentless about how great it was.
Yeah.
How you doing there, Tiny? Need me to reach
look at what you did for picking up a fucking dinner check.
I couldn't believe it. I told Susan about it, and she gave me an award.
Yeah. You weren't just nominated this time? You do a lot of things where you insult me, but I don't get it. Yeah, I know.
Are these coasters?
Yes, they are.
But you don't need them on a glass table, right?
No, not really.
Okay.
No.
That's not going to make it into the final cut. I see you editing. Oh, look what fuckface did. Oh, another reference to that fuckface. This is me. This is me and my impression of you editing.
Okay.
Oh, phone. Oh, yeah, that's interesting. Fuckface went on another tangent that went nowhere. That's interesting. Fuckface. Oh, this is a great one. I'll never forget this. He's 15 minutes late and then wouldn't stop talking about it for a half hour. I love that. Fuckface is in rare form tonight.
It's fuckface in the morning.
And now, from deep within the bowels of the valley, it's thought_spiral.
Sorry, wearing earphones.
Did that hurt?
A little needle burying, yeah.
What are you, like a small child now? You have a cold. No, you don't have a cold. I have a true cold. You...
I'm some sort of imposter.
I know. No, you have a cold too?
No, I don't. So where were we, fuckface?
Oh, great. Oh, now he's doing the... And we're back.
Our frontline cameras were allowed into the Thought Spiral Studios.
Yeah, this would be great if they saw the, if they could see.
That's my new impression I'm working on.
Oh, let me hear.
Our frontline cameras were allowed in to the Thought Spiral Studios in Sherman Oaks, California. This is Frontline.
Have you heard my Howard Cosell? I hear, did I do it last week? Because I'm told that it's my
we were
best.
allowed access as Andy Kindler did the Howard Cosell impression for the first time.
Well, let me tell you something. Susan's sister enjoyed it very much. Susan, I don't think she needs more impressions from me. But here's my impression.
How about you do a good husband? She says.
She says, not you.
Not me.
She said, this is Howard Cosell. I can't do it because you're the master of words.
Oh, wow.
Then I'm trying to butter you up.
Yeah.
This is Howard Cosell. Tonight, the super heavyweight bout between Tito Fuentes of the Republic of Domingo and Roberto Dobison of Peru. Now, the difference between doing it now and Gina was giving me Susan's
Feedback.
sister. Yeah, she was giving me the visual.
Yeah,
it's funny.
Yeah.
And then
Like Billy Crystal gives himself in the mirror when he's doing it.
jazz. Well, Billy Crystal does good voices. It's just him we don't like.
Right. Be someone else, we say.
We say to him often. The thing that I like about that particular... What are you looking at? What are you looking at now? Where are you going so fast that you got to check your clock? The reason why I like that impression, though, is I think there's a jazz guy named Tito Fuentes or something like that. So I like that I use
Tito
a
Puente.
Right. Okay. So I get the name wrong, but it's got Tito Fuentes. That could be a boxer. And then when at the end I go Roberto Dobison of Peru. Roberto Dobison was a strongman. Was a Central American strongman.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that in the
nice.
80s.
It had layers. So you're off. You're out of town this week. You're leaving for somewhere.
I'm going to Seattle on Sunday. On Friday night.
Right.
And I'll be back on Saturday. I go up for one day.
At Laughs.
At Laughs. Why do I think, if you're not mocking me, then I must be mocking myself. I am going up to Seattle.
Yeah.
And but I can't talk too much more about it because it would have been nicer. I think I actually promoted it.
You did.
So I'm sure it's going to be packed.
I'm sure.
And then the following Thursday, I go to Houston and then to Lincoln, Nebraska for 2 days. And I'm staying in a condo, which I'm not looking forward to.
Ouch.
But I've been told that...
Are you staying alone in the condo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's better. Yeah, but they always have, like, ways of describing it. Like, I realize now that the way that it's been described was trying to sell me on it. Because it's a high rise. What does that mean? It's a high rise.
Right. Yes.
I mean, it could be something horrible that goes up.
Right. Like there's a lot of great high rises on the south side of Chicago, for example. Good times was said in those.
Now, Lincoln, Nebraska, that's a fun town, right? I've been there before. You've been there before, I bet.
Last time I was there was I'm going to say 1990. And the club was closing that week. You could feel it. And, like each night, there was like this feeling that the sheriff could come shut down the place.
It wasn't a spaghetti, there was a spaghetti factory
It
at
was
one
not
point.
Spaghetti Works.
Spaghetti Works, that's why. Is that what that was called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was, I want to say a laugh, but it might have been like Laugh Tracks or something like that. But so each night, like the owner was like an absentee owner, and apparently he was very shifty. But the manager,
not like Shifty Schiff.
the
right?
manager was cool enough to take the cash receipts home each night, so that if the place got locked down, like chained, he'd be able to pay us at the end.
So he's like a hero.
He was a hero to me, and he gave us. I think he gave me a mic and some stuff from the wall because they literally closed it the last night we were there.
I thought that I've closed down I've closed down maybe 7 or 8 one-nighters.
Yeah.
Like they weren't there the next
And
week.
it was also, I remember it being like 105 degrees in Lincoln when I was there that last time.
Did you ever play the Spaghetti Works when it was there?
I
No.
played the Des Moines Spaghetti Works.
Yeah, they had them in all 3 towns at one point. I
Des
think they
Moines,
had
Omaha, and Lincoln.
Right.
All 3 towns.
And then, well, I think all 3 of the major towns that exist in there. I can't think of one other city that anyone could name in Nebraska. Go ahead. Johnny Carsonville?
North Platte.
I think, okay, so, but, yeah, okay, well, I'm not good at games, setting up games or quizzes.
Right.
I think Lincoln, though, I just thought about it, I don't know if you told me, there's like a good radio show there. I thought you mentioned that to me, too.
No.
I don't know what to think about Nebraska. I had fun. I used to have fun in Omaha when I would go there because they had this downtown area that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And so that was really fun for me. I enjoyed that weekend there. And the show's never.
But this isn't that.
No, this is not. It's Lincoln. I can't think of anything that Lincoln is known for. It's not known for Boys Town.
No.
It's not known for the land of Lincoln. That's where Lincoln.
No.
I don't want people who are hearing this to go backwards in time and not attend.
Cornhusker football, my friend.
Oh, that's right. Hey, do you know about college football? See, college football I'm trying to get a little excited about. You say no, nothing, or you like it?
I'm not into it.
Okay. LSU is doing well, and I was wondering if they ever won a national championship because I didn't have the energy to Google.
Yeah, I think they have. Yes.
Yeah. But they weren't. They're good this
Johnny
year.
Torito will call you and tell you.
Is he into? That's his team.
Yes.
I should be thinking now when LSU is on that I'm rooting for Johnny Torito.
Think of them as the Johnny Toritos.
That's so good. Now I have someone to root because I don't like to root for.
Put a tiger in your tank. LSU Tiger.
Did you know about my Put a Tiger in? That's the first time I was funny.
I'll be the judge of that.
Do you know the Put a Tiger in your tank from when you were a kid?
I know that it's an old Esso slogan, yes.
That's right.
And I believe you've told me this thing before.
I did tell you the stupid story. I told you the guy. I don't care if you were. I don't care if you were. You better listen to me, and you better listen to me straight.
I'm listening, Tiger.
I told you the story, and I said that the guy who was interviewing me, Matt, who's half of a special thing, his father, I told him the story about that was the first time I was ever funny because I mispronounced it and said Pewter Tiger in your tank. People who, Farouche I'm sure has it locked down.
Yeah.
But then I found out his father was an ad man who'd written that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so that was fun.
Wow.
That was fun then.
Wow.
You know what? Here's the thing I think about you. You would have Helen Keller on your show, right?
Yeah.
And you go, big fucking deal that you can. Oh, so let me get this straight. You couldn't see, you couldn't hear, and what else couldn't you do?
I don't know, but none of it would offend her.
I don't really understand.
She couldn't hear, see, or speak.
I know, but I'm trying to think of how you'd interview her then.
Poorly. It wouldn't go well.
People
did interview her, though. She had a translator.
Helen Keller is one of my go-to hero people I think of all the time. I mean,
And yet you do nothing to emulate her.
well, I'm not. I can speak. In fact, a lot of times I heckle people who can't because it's fun.
Uh-huh.
There's 3.
More like ZZZ Top.
Write that down. Add that to my ZZZZZ top. All right. Well, you've made me hate sports. You've made me realize. No, that's okay. Houston I'm looking forward to because and I'll have fun. I always claim to love the road, and then when I'm going on the road, I miss my wife.
Yeah.
But then if you just were in town all the time and you took no risks in your life, like I don't like to fly when I think about it.
Yeah.
But then when I get on the plane, I just don't care.
Right.
Until it does this.
Well, like Allison has a thing. She's not afraid of flying at all because whatever happens won't be her fault.
That's exactly what my mother said after she took a class to fly again. It's the same thing with me.
Yeah.
That's so she has a little bit of that. She thinks everything's her fault.
Yeah.
I have that.
It comes from being blamed for everything when she was a kid.
Bingo. That's so funny that you say that because that's what my mother took a class. The first time she went on a plane, the plane caught fire, so she never flew again for 30 years. Then she took this workshop thing where they put you on like a plane. Let's not take, and then at the end of this 3-month thing, you take a flight.
Yeah, you go to Boston from New York or something.
That's exactly where she went.
Right.
And then when she got at the end of the flight, she said she was almost in tears. She said to one of the people to think that it's not going to be my fault.
Think of all the peanuts I missed.
You know, maybe there's a problem. Maybe you have a problem with sincerity. With sincerity,
I have a lot of problems.
Maybe.
But she thought the fire was her fault.
Who?
Your mother. Like she thought she was a jinx?
No, I don't think the fire. No, I don't think the fire scared her to death. Mm-hmm. The thing about thinking that you're responsible for it is something that made her is how she lives her whole life in many ways because her mother was not nice. So she's always thinking.
So she had the same sort of revelation, which is,
yes,
I'm safe because what I'm really worried about is something happening where it's my fault.
Exactly, and that's the.
And I think that's what's true with Allison too. Yeah,
and she's passed that down to me too.
Yeah.
My mother, not on purpose, but I don't look at your watch anymore.
I have to
because it's so bad.
No,
because
I just want to know where we're at.
That's the thing. Your job is to look at your watch. Okay, but if I started to do this a lot, it would look bad, right?
Well, that's why I wear a watch instead of look at my phone.
I have an Apple Watch that I got as a gift from Dana that I have not operated yet. And I don't know why I have I want to operate it.
You should.
And I will. I did every single thing I told I have therapy tomorrow. I did every single thing I told my therapist I was going to do by Tuesday. She didn't make me do this.
Yeah.
I did everything but one thing.
Okay.
And then, so I still have till tomorrow at 2. And the last thing is to get the album ready to go, which is nothing I have to do, really. Just, here's this. Let's find a graphic designer.
Nice.
Do you think when the album comes out...
I'm working with the new graphic designer this week myself for the poster for the Michael Debar movie.
Oh. Well, maybe.
I'll tell you how it goes.
Yes, because you're predicting that movie will be out and everything before I complete my album.
Yes.
Half the time I play the role that you've hurt my feelings, and the other half I'm crushed as a human being before you got to me.
Right. So
crushed
my
as a
hands
human
are
being.
clean either way.
Is that all you care about?
Yeah.
Whether your hands
It's not my fault. That's why I keep getting on this flight.
That would be a good name for a podcast. It's not my fault.
Sure.
Isn't that what Trump does, huh? Did you hear? I've been talking to you about the right-wing stuff a lot. That movie finally came out, which was No Safe Spaces. Dennis Prager and Adam Carolla.
Oh, yes.
Going to college campuses to... that's the big problem.
Traveling Algonquin round table. That is.
I mean... To me, the thing that's really kind of nice about the current situation is every one of these right-wing assholes, and I include Adam Carolla as a right-wing creep, because that's all they really... I mean, he could be funny occasionally.
Fair enough.
He could be funny occasionally.
I'm not going to defend him.
But he's a mean guy who thinks that poor people are poor because of their own fault. And Dennis Prager... is a right-wing guy for years. But the thing I think is so great about what's happening now is whenever you see them complain, these right-wing people go, oh, how come LeBron James didn't stand up for China, which I think, about the protest for China, They're allowing Kurdish children to be murdered. It's like there's nothing they can ever say again. I guess maybe they've been without merit for many years, the right, but they're really without merit now, I think. You know what I'm saying? Like, they complain about stuff. They try to always say Me Tooism or whataboutism.
Yeah.
But there's nothing, if they're not right now crying because Kurdish children were killed because of Trump, then you know that everything they say is just bullshit. But I knew that beforehand, so I guess it's nothing new to learn.
I would say that this isn't necessarily the hypocrisy threshold being crossed for the first time.
I actually do feel like this Kurdish thing is the worst thing, overt thing that this country's done in a long time. I mean, I'm not comparing it to slavery, obviously, but just that, like, a lot of stuff goes on, but you don't hear about it.
Right.
But he says on Monday, we're leaving. So on Tuesday, you know that people are dead because of what he just said on Monday, which seems to happen to him a lot. So it actually made me it's made me very depressed in many ways. But then I realized that I do have that trouble.
Well, I mean, there's the damage that Trump does has so many levels to it. And most of them, even though all of it's done in our name, you still have stadiums full of people going, lock him up, So the world can kind of...
That was good.
The world can kind of... See.
I'm glad they saw that.
I think the world can separate Trump from America most of the time.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you can't fully do it because we did elect him, so there's still a huge percentage of
Even
America.
if it was stolen.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. It shouldn't have gotten one vote.
To be stolen.
Yes. And it shouldn't have been.
No. But when he does something like that, we all get tagged with it. We all feel responsible because this is a betrayal of someone in our name.
Yeah. Yes.
And it can't be undone by the next person coming in the way so many other things can.
Well, that's the thing too, is that we've done so many horrible things over in that area, and I thought when Bush was gone, we would, there's no way to progress as a country when all of a sudden this thing happened. This thing has been the worst thing I think it's ever happened in terms of who's in there. Because he's...
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't know. Maybe we couldn't have progressed as a country for real without this either. If this much pent-up shit was sitting there in our country...
Yeah.
Without us really fully realizing it the way we have in the last few years, were we really moving forward, or we were just building this malignant tumor,
I think it's both. I mean, I think it's like you can't have elected Barack Obama and say that wasn't something that was moving forward, but then it did create this reaction from from incredibly racist people.
Right.
Yeah,
no,
so
this is
exposed
clearly part of where we are is a massive backlash to the fear of Obama.
Yeah.
So you have to take some points off of how far forward we moved by electing
I know you do
Obama,
have to take points off the board, but okay, like certain things that, for example, that being gay has changed almost amazingly throughout the whole world, almost not all over the world.
Right.
I didn't think that would happen that quick, but the flip side of it is, why was it so horrible for so long? Why was that,
Well, why couldn't we figure out how to cook Brussels sprouts until the last 10 years?
I don't know that we have. I really don't know that we have. What do you do? What do you do? I know I know what you do. Parmesan cheese, or what do you do with it? You sous vide it?
No, quite the opposite.
Yeah, because that would be too soggy.
No, the idea is to caramelize it, to burn them. That's what we've discovered, is that once you change the sugar content in there, it changes the entire nature of the flavor. That's why it's on every fucking menu in America right now, as opposed to 10 years ago when it was on 0 menus.
So for the layman.
But for all these years, they were like poison on a plate. And now it's like this delicacy because people learn that if you just burn them, essentially, they're delicious.
For the layperson, explain caramelizing.
Caramelizing is basically burning the sugar within something.
Right. How do you how do you do that? By roasting it?
Yeah, by applying high heat to it.
Ah. There's another one they do that with. Did you say Brussels sprouts?
Yes.
Because isn't that true about cauliflower as well?
No, not necessarily. Although I do roast a lot of cauliflower.
I would never eat cauliflower if it had been served anywhere near. I saw it as a young child. Well, when I was a young kid, we had
a lot of it was frozen too when you were a kid.
Worse, I had green beans in a can.
Yeah.
They used to serve.
Yeah, that's shitty. That's horrible.
And I even ate a couple times asparagus
from a can.
Yeah,
not good.
Did you not have that? You see, my mom didn't do a lot with it, or my dad did all the cooking.
We would have like canned peas or canned corn were probably the most. Green beans occasionally, but no one ate them really. We ate a lot of salads.
Well, that's
dinner.
Good.
We ate a lot of salads.
And frozen food to me, like, change things. I love frozen corn even. I don't eat it that much, but it sounds delicious to me.
But yeah, see how I took it from politics and it swerved it into food? Now we forgot what we were saying?
No, it doesn't matter. I do remember what I was saying. The other thing that depresses me, which I don't know if it depresses you or not, is just I feel like this is the weakest. It's not the. I don't like the field of people we have to choose from. Like, I don't think, and even the people I like, I don't like that much, or it's either a combination of the people I could kind of like don't look like they're going to win, and then the people who are in the lead are. I'd vote for Elizabeth. I know I'd vote for Elizabeth Warren, but I'm not crazy about her. I'm not crazy about Bernie. I'm not, and I don't think Biden's great.
I don't think Biden's going to make it.
Yeah, but doesn't that mean we're in trouble, or you think someone will come like a dark horse candidate?
I think Biden's collapse will. I think Pete Buttigieg or Amy Klobuchar is going to do really well in Iowa. They're going to come in second or third somehow. Klobuchar,
I actually do like. I think when I hear what she says, I like what she says.
Yeah,
but a lot of people think that we're neoliberals. Like
we are.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to throw you in with me, but I get a lot. I get a lot of the Dave Anthony, Bernie bros who call people like us neoliberals.
Yeah, what does it mean?
It means like old style liberals who are still living who think that things will be solved from the way it was in the 60s. I'm not exactly sure, but it's a negative. It's a negative. It's saying like, it's like we're not accepting democratic socialism. That's the thing. That's a thing that's like.
Seems like they would be the neoliberals then.
How do you mean?
Neo is new.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how it got. It's like me liking Obama. I was accused of being a neoliberal or an institutionalist. And
well, I am not radical in my fiscal policy.
I don't even understand. And here's the thing. I get angry at the Bernie Sanders thing only because I still don't think he's explained anything, really. Maybe he does. You know why I'm a democratic socialist? Because all the people are poor in the street. It's like, I know this is a terrible topic, so I'll get off of it, but I just feel frustrated. It's like all of a sudden everyone's against. I never remembered everyone being against free trade, the ability to start free trade.
Yeah.
Everyone's against it now, right. Under any circumstances. So, I don't know. I think capitalism. I don't consider. Like, people go, "Are you a capitalist?" I'm not I don't consider myself an ist of any kind. I just want a system that's fair and works. So I don't think saying that rich people are going to pay for everyone's college. I just think he's brought up stuff that could screw us in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I mean, Not only do I think it is impractical to completely change the system by which we live.
Yes.
Which is essentially what that would require.
Yes.
Not only do I think it's impractical, I don't think it's necessary or really the American spirit. Now, I don't think the American spirit is what some people say it is, which is
every man for himself.
You all got the same chance.
Yeah, it's equal playing field, yeah.
So, I believe in a huge safety net is what I believe in.
Me too. No one should be poor. No one should have to sing for their supper. No one should have to be homeless. Like, there's certain things that we agree on as a society. No one should.
I believe in the ethos that leads to what Bernie is preaching.
Right.
I have those same feelings, which is, this system is rigged more and more and more towards a smaller and smaller and smaller percentage of people. And there are ways to make it much more equity across society, But I don't think flipping the table is the way to do it,
Yeah, but not to get into a Medicare for all thing, but just like this idea that if I'm not for Medicare for all, that I'm not for health care. It's like, do any of these people have relatives who are on Medicare? It's like Medicare's not a perfect system.
Right.
So then you say, well, Medicare's got problems. Oh, we'll fix it. Well, what are you then saying? Just you love the three words together?
Exactly.
Anyway, I'm feeling down.
It's the two words they like. It's for all that they like.
Right, which is, nobody can argue to me that everybody should have health care. No matter how you do it, it's coming out of either taxes or it's coming out of something.
Right.
It's going to come out of something. And that's why I thought Obama was, the first person who did anything about it. And so, I don't know, I'm worried in general, but maybe I just.
Well, I also just feel like the reform has to come on the provider side.
Yes.
As much as the consumer side. I believe there's such abuse within the provider side of the equation.
Right. There's so many thieves.
There's so many thieves, and there's so many fluid rules that apply. That if that side of the equation isn't being regulated, it's only going to adjust to counteract the measures that the market is taking.
But, if you just look back over the history of this country, can you imagine if, let's say, George W. Bush had privatized Social Security? I know so many people who would be dead without Social Security, and you can't tell me that your system would eliminate that. Like your system of whatever it is you're telling.
And how many of those people would be alive if they were making their own investment decisions?
Anyway, I feel good about things, but I talked to my therapist about this, and I think everybody does. It's like,
talks to your therapist?
What's that?
Everyone talks to your therapist?
Everyone does, and it's very annoying because they don't pay. No, it's really hard for like all.
Get used to it. It's Medicare for all.
Like, she doesn't tell me about her clients, obviously, but in general, everyone's feeling this way about more revved up. It can't help but make you more revved up, scared, unless you can just turn everything off, which you, I think, have to do at one point.
Well, when it comes to the election, I think, first of all, it's going to be, to think that 6 months from now the landscape's going to be what it's like now is, I think...
That's true. It could be different, right? Yeah, that's true. Well, maybe here's something I can do is let go of the need to control or worry about what happens, because I don't get any goodness from it. Just the constant worrying. What if this guy gets in? That's not going to help anything.
No.
So that, I guess I can let it go. I'm not going to get survivalist about it, though.
No, I don't think you have that kind of commitment.
I don't even have an earthquake preparedness kit.
No.
Do you?
Not as such.
But you have a house.
I have a house.
So you've got a nice amount of water.
I've got some water stored away.
Yeah. Weapons? No.
That's not. I don't announce that.
Oh, yeah. I could not imagine either one of us with a gun. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, neither one of us, even though I think we're going to be open to a lot of new roles now.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to be playing those kind of roles.
I think I could be in a buddy movie. I could be a cop.
I'm sure you could.
I could.
But would you want to be a cop?
Sure, in a movie.
You don't even like buddy movies, do you?
Depends who the buddies are.
Well, Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid I loved.
Yeah, great buddy movie. Robert Evans died today, speaking of movies of the 70s.
Yeah, I saw, yes. Now, how old was he?
I don't know. 80s.
Yeah. There's a lot of people dying recently.
Well, that brings us to the break because Paul Barrere died this week from Little Feat. The guitar player from Little Feat died this week.
Oh.
Who was a very nice dude, and my friend Scott worked for and with for many years.
I didn't know that.
And he played a solo on Allison's album. So
I would love to hear that in honor of him.
Paul Barrere. We've played this track before, but here's Paul Barrere on slide guitar on Allison McLeod's Temple of the Loaded Gun.
Cool. Yeah. That got me going.
Yeah.
That was a great song. I guess I've heard it before, but I don't remember hearing it before.
What?
It's unbelievable. If I do have dementia, you'll feel bad. But not really, because I won't know.
Exactly.
Is that like a slide guitar? Is that what he's playing?
Yeah.
God, he has. I love that sustainy sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was great. Rest in peace, Paul Barrere.
Oh, man. I just remembered that he passed away. He had to be kind of young, right?
He was youngish, but he was in Little Feat since 1972, I read. So.
Oh, man.
And if you're interested in Allison's music, you can see a couple albums worth at allisonmcleod.bandcamp.com.
I love that song. I love the arrangement on it.
Why, thank you. I co-produced it.
You didn't even, and I didn't even. You didn't even tell me to do that, right? I did that on my own.
Yeah,
because I enjoyed the arrangement.
Fantastic.
I mean, that's the kind of thing when
that's fantastic.
I was watching. It was so good. It was Hauser was at a college in East. Oh, it was Vincent Price Art Museum at this college in Eastern L.A. East College, and
wow, that is some spooky art. That is fantastic. Wow, he was the master of horror. It really shows through in his art. Well, I'm horrified.
Well, you see, that's where you're underselling him. He was people don't know that Vincent Price was an art collector and an artist himself.
He had fantastic taste. You should see all the clowns.
Well, at one point, his daughter was there. Well, they had the head of the museum.
You're Vincent Price's daughter. That must have been terrifying.
No. She says most people remember him as a famous horror actor, and then
that's how I remember him. He's a famous horror actor.
He went the other way. He went, that's not true. He also did a lot of other good stuff.
I also remember him from, well, not so much, just pretty much the horror stuff. But apparently he was very popular in other arenas.
And I had to admit that I love Hauser.
And I love you.
But it would be hard to be, if he came to my museum, it would be a little hard to. The energy, I love his energy. So what's this? So what's that? So you have I imagine you have more of these things.
You actually hang these from nails on the wall. That is an amazing way of displaying these works of precious art.
But now I must say to you, Mr. Hauser, that don't mistake this museum. We actually have not just Vincent Price's stuff here. We have some of the world's
other fantastic, like Lon Chaney.
No. We have like actual like a Picasso. Those people, not horror. It's not all horror.
Did Picasso do Frankenstein? I don't understand.
No. Mr. Hauser, I'm just trying to tell you that this was kind of a separate endeavor for Vincent Price. He acted and he collected art. There wasn't like a connection between
like
them.
Movie posters and things, right?
Yes, he did. He did like movie posters.
Really? That's fantastic. Like House of Wax. I'd like to see that in 3D.
No, but
coming at you. Coming at you.
But for example,
Woo Duck, it's coming at you.
This is a demon corn here that you're looking at. Is it a regular
demon corn?
Yeah.
Is that haunted corn? That's amazing. That's spooky. I hear there's children in those corn.
No. This is a demon corn who, as you know, lived in California. It's just a beautiful.
I love California.
It's a beautiful painting, but there's nothing scary about this painting.
I don't know. That's all in the beholder's eye, I think. So I'm terrified.
Now, you might like this. I can't think of one more artist to set you up for.
All you could think of was demon corn. It's weird.
Well, he also liked Jackson Pollock, as you can tell here. This is
wow. Well, I don't see Jackson Pollock's. I just see an explosion of color.
Wow. Is that the twist at the end of the bit?
I just see a mind-blowing mix of technique and explosions of color.
It's kind of horrible.
I love it.
How come we don't get more? Sorry for the sneezing again, or whatever. How come we don't get more Hauser? Oh, I guess we do get Hauser, but for some reason, the requests always go to Gregory Peck.
Once we hit, I think once we hit the boys from Brazil,
James Mason
changed.
James Mason, you can make a nice living.
I could make a small fortune.
That was good.
If my frontline narrator doesn't pan out, I can always go with James Mason.
The frontline, it does sound almost like he's.
I don't know if I have
distant.
it, but when I was watching it the other night, I fucking nailed it. And then I thought, I don't know if I.
Welcome to my world.
Wow, yeah. I don't like it here.
They look like, boom, 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 boom. They look like, boom, 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 boom. They look like, yeah, they look like dress pants, boom, 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 but they're not, they're yoga pants. Do you brush your teeth? You might like Quip. It can't be just 4 products that podcast people like. Let's pick it up. Here's the worst one I heard, though, on podcast products.
Yeah.
They do a commercial in the true crime thing.
It's podcast products. Podcast products. Andy Kindler's podcast products right now.
Bang. Yeah, so I'm watching a true crime thing. They go, wouldn't you like to solve your own true crimes? So you're going to have this board game thing that they send, and then you have to figure out the crime. Oh, and then they go, oh, they sent me even a black light.
That's a Clue, isn't it?
Whatever it is, it's not why it's not a true crime.
That's true.
That's why I don't listen to it as a game.
Right. You're not listening to false crime podcasts.
Yes,
You're
Josh.
not listening to ZZ Bottom.
Yes, Josh. Why can't I be this as the sidekick? Yes, master.
That's how I hear you, anyway.
Oh, hey, you know what? I'm starting to feel good. Finally. No, I don't seem speedy tonight, right? Regular, just off.
Literally, it was like filibusters of unfinished sentences.
Oh God, I feel sorry.
There was at least 15 minutes of shit I just had to cut out because it was incomprehensible, largely.
You know, I feel sorry for all editors, not just you. I feel sorry for anyone who's ever had to sit in an edit booth and try to get. It's amazing that you get my gold.
Yes, that's all I'm doing.
Was that a lucky sound?
I think of myself more of a prospector than an editor.
Every time around this time, we think about letters. We like to hear from our listeners. They ask questions, but this is the beginning of the letter song. You ready?
I'm the next door neighbor, so I don't have to sing very well.
I don't have to sing that well because I'm the neighbor's wife. Yes. Hello, mister. Hello, mister. I'm in a play, so I'm going to sing as if I talk, mister.
Don't. We were giving the rare opportunity to see inside the Thought Spiral mailbag here on Frontline.
That would be.
We'll hear next week if I did a good job with the Frontline.
But wait a second now. They wouldn't if they were here, wouldn't they be trying to say we were doing something wrong? Aren't they always looking at things that are wrong?
No.
Oh, okay. Sometimes it could be just
Our cameras were allowed in.
Our cameras were. Well, why am I trying to do it?
I don't know. You don't even know who I'm doing, it seems.
No, I do know that guy's voice. I do know his voice. I didn't know it was the same guy. Probably is, right?
Tonight we'll be exploring inside the mind of an obsessive-compulsive disorder victim.
Is that me? Yeah.
On Frontline.
So what if the Frontline guy... I'm going to start... What if the Frontline guy saw Yule Hauser? No, don't do it. Don't do it pre-letters.
All right.
No, you can do it.
No.
No, I'd like you to
Michelle Weiscarver says, hearing you talking about the New York premiere of The Fiddling Horse makes me even more excited to see it. And Andy has been nominated for a Best Actor award in an upcoming film festival. You both must be going, what the fuck is happening? Can't
true.
wait. Love you guys.
Well, thank you, Michelle.
Tonight on Frontline.
I still am thrilled about the experience, and I still think that it's going to jettison us. No.
Jettison us?
Yeah,
I think we've already been jettisoned.
Is jettison bad?
Yes.
Well, I thought you could get jettisoned to a different level. No, that means ejected.
Yeah.
All right, forget that.
Yeah.
I think we will be jettisoned.
Yeah, it is very exciting, and hopefully, with each little film festival win, that makes it a more attractive streaming property,
right?
Which makes it a more prominent placement on the streaming services, which means tens and tens of people will see it.
Yeah, but this means, like, I'm already thinking, what's my next role?
Yeah,
the guy who doesn't.
I am too. That's why I'm rooting for CJ to do another movie.
I think I've done the guy who is annoying during podcasts very well.
Yeah.
The guy who doesn't listen. I do the podcast guy who doesn't listen.
That's your type. Yoshi the Grudge Yamamoto. Yoshi.
I was thinking about Yoshi when we were talking about politics because I was thinking he's going to not like what we were saying.
He's about to not like what we were saying, actually.
Oh.
He says, come on, fellas. Amy Klobuchar had a strong debate performance. I know you've been watching films from the 40s and 50s, but that doesn't mean you have to get your politics from the 90s.
I can't argue with that.
Are we neoliberals, according to Yoshi Yamamoto?
I think that Yoshi Yamamoto does not think that we... Like, he likes Medicare for all, and he thinks that we should like it too. And I think he does think of people like... Well, I can't read too much into it. I just think he thinks we're dinosaurs of some type.
If I had my pick of the litter, I'd go Buttigieg. Honestly, right now. In terms of just pure, like, the guy, the kind of person I'd like to see in the office.
Right.
I'm pretty much a Buttigieg guy.
I bet he isn't.
I bet he's not.
Right.
And I don't necessarily think Pete's going to win, and I don't necessarily think he's qualified. I just think in terms of the type,
communication
the type
skills.
of dude that I really like. And I think it is interesting. And I don't think he's going to not win because he's gay.
That's for sure.
You know?
I think it's because he's short.
I think so, too.
And I can say that as a short person.
Oh, are you short? I hadn't noticed.
That's not funny. It is funny. Keep you guessing.
The ventriloquist thing was funny the other day. Wasn't it?
Oh, I have to tell you, that was I could argue that was my favorite. Not only was it my favorite tweet.
Here's the tweet. I posted a picture of Paula and Andy and I at the Fiddling Horse premiere, and I'm standing in the middle with my arm behind the back of both of them, and the tweet was, despite what this cast photo looks like, The Fiddling Horse is not a movie about an attractive woman who's dating a ventriloquist.
And then when you set that up, and you look at me, and I'm slumped over like a little dummy, it's so good. Oh, that was great.
Dana Schwartz says, still have a contact high 10 days after being able to attend and celebrate an important event for you guys. Plus topped off by speaking with both of you. So glad I got there for an afternoon I'll never forget. All is better with your podcast in my life.
That's nice.
Thanks, Dana.
Thank you, Dana. I appreciate that.
Thanks for coming down.
Yes, and thank you for my Apple Watch.
And gave him an Apple Watch. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about that, but...
Well, you didn't want one, did you?
No, who would want
I don't know why I said
beautiful, powerful piece of technology?
Are you talking about me or the watch? Bing, bang, bing, bing. Josh, stop. It's okay. Josh, it's okay.
All right. Stephen Elton Yates. Wow, it's all of
right our
top.
Heavy hitters.
Yes. Stephen Elton Yates says, I wonder how Gregory Peck, as Dr. Joseph Mengele, would answer, what kind of tail did that nag I bet my money on have? What kind of wildcat has no tail? What kind of sled was seen in Cool Runnings? Well, that would be bobtail, bobcat, bobsled.
I couldn't even figure out the question. Again, as always. Bobsled. Bobby.
Time bandit. Time being spelled like the herb. Or spice, I'm not sure. Is thyme an herb or a spice? I think it's a spice.
You're asking the wrong guy, but it is it's spelled Thyme.
Yes. Hi, Andy and Josh. Have listened from the beginning, and thanks for all the spiraling. I turned 50 this week and still haven't worked out a suitable way to celebrate. What would you recommend? Well, let's talk to somebody who's had the experience.
Shut up. Now, here's the thing, though, Josh.
I really enjoyed last week in your set from the Comedy Store about all your bits about when you turn 50.
Yeah, that really is a lie. I don't know why I keep doing it. I keep doing it I think it's because Susan says you have to say how old you are to everybody. So I should say 60 then, right?
Yes. For me not to laugh, which I guess I don't know. It's because of
because I'm not used
message.
I'm not used to lying on stage.
No, it's weird that you are. I thought that's what was making it funny to me is that.
Oh no, I do give a look. Sometimes I give a look like I'm obviously not 50.
No, I think you said something like I something older than 60 or something.
Right, but I try to avoid it. And the other thing is that don't think I look 50. I think I look younger, which I don't. That's the thing. For so long.
You think you look younger than 50?
Shut up. I mean, why don't you just hit me in the head with
I think you look younger than 60.
Well, you should.
But younger than 50?
Punch me in the face. Why don't you just punch me
My arm's not long enough to get down that low.
You don't understand. Well, Ron Funches calls me young body, old face. So.
Really?
Yeah, I love it. But.
I go the opposite.
For a long time, I thought I looked so young that I don't think of myself as looking 50. And I clearly look 50 now. So, I was also going to tell you, I was very happy with usually the sound quality is not so great when I put it on the stool. I thought the sound quality was pretty good.
It was pretty good.
From that Comedy Store set.
Yeah, oh, yes. And there was laughter.
There was laughter. That was the thing I liked about it. Because normally I sweeten the set.
That's the sound quality you were really looking for.
Yeah, it's like, what is the difference with that set? Oh, the laughter.
Ah.
Andy Paley was there in the crowd.
Was he?
And Paula Pell, who writes for Saturday Night Live.
I like Paula Pell.
Well, she doesn't just write for Saturday.
Yoshi's back.
Yoshi, 2 questions, one night.
Andy, I did contemplate coming out for the premiere, but I had to cover a shift at Lawrence Livermore Nuclear Facility. My old job. It is Bill Maher voice. He says,
my old job.
By the way, the impression of your mom freaking out on you nearly gave me PTSD. Some of us have mean moms, Josh.
Yeah. Well, you're not saying you're better.
No, I think...
because you've had a better life.
Well, no, I think I would admit to sort of minimizing what you consider your top 3 childhood scars.
Yeah, that I think... Well, that's your job. You're not supposed to. You're not a psychologist. You're not here to be empathetic, obviously.
I have this theory, though, and actually the last week's show got me thinking about this, though, is I do think that people who haven't had kids have a harder time forgiving their parents.
I never thought of that.
Because once you've been a parent, you see the scars as you're putting them on your, it's like, there's like, you can't be fucking perfect, and you do shit where you go, ooh, that's bad parenting, but you do it anyway because...
Yeah, but I think that you don't see...
I'm not saying people aren't capable of it.
Right.
I'm saying it is harder for people to forgive their parents when they don't have kids. Because when you have kids, there's a certain thing in your head that you can't avoid going, yeah, my parents had other shit going on.
Right.
You can't avoid just that almost genetic knowledge that sets in on you. Like, oh, right, this is why they weren't that good at this.
I get that, but I think that you don't, having not gone through that particular, whatever that was for me, it was like a slow motion. It's not normal for a parent to be angry at you over several hours and continue on knowing that you did something probably and won't admit it and just keep you up there for hours. I don't think that's normal. I don't think that you would think was normal.
No, I'm not saying that it was. I'm saying on his face.
I can't go on. Yeah.
But everyone did have that thing where their mom freaked the fuck out because of something they did.
Yeah, I think probably that's true. Well, that would be it would be not human if that didn't happen.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
But I admit I was particularly unempathetic last week. I had no patience and I was very tired.
I thought you were doing it just to give me the old schmanuki.
Well, that was part of.
Yeah.
That's part of.
And look,
that's part of my imp.
Is that what you call that part of yourself?
My inner imp. Yes. Jim Meehan says, "Do you think the serpent in the Garden of Eden would be able to tempt Liza away from her cotton candy grapes?" Not on your life, Buster. No one's getting me from my cotton candy grapes.
That is probably my favorite.
You can be your brother's keeper. I'm keeping these grapes.
Tell me again who she was saying that to.
Me.
And how? Why was she saying it to you?
Because I was.
You were near her.
Because I was getting some cotton candy grapes at the time.
And then how did you react?
I went, yeah. I think something like that.
Was it an experience
Or I'm with you.
Is an experience that made you feel, this is what I like about shopping, that you get to...
This is why I don't listen to podcasts while I shop. That's the feeling. It's just like...
You'll miss that.
No, that's why. Yeah, exactly. I love sound bites like that, as you know.
Yeah, but when it was... Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because that's actually... I would say that there's nobody better at capturing this kind of comedy. Anything but. That will be a classic. And here's the thing that's amazing. And here's the reason to do the podcast and put up with the fact that I'm obnoxious all the time, is because those jokes don't work as well in stand-up.
No.
You know what I mean?
There's no place for it.
Is it spicy? There's no, I can't do is it spicy on stage. And you can't, and when I've done on stage, like anecdotes, well, maybe I don't tell them well, but they sometimes you can tell now. Like when I remember that a friend of my dad said to me when I was watching Paul Simon and Garfunkel reunion, he goes, that Paul Simon's okay. He's not one of those jazzed up characters in the cockamamie outfits. That I know is funny.
Exactly.
Forever.
Yes.
But a lot of times I doesn't translate as well. And that translates. You see the woman, you see Liza, you see the whole thing. Cotton candy grapes. Cotton candy grapes. Cotton candy grapes, baby.
Life is a candy grape, old chum. Patented Phil says, greetings, you fine gentlemen. If you were forced to go vegan, what would be the one food you'd miss? I'd miss cheese. Man alive, do I love me some cheese.
I would miss sushi.
Yeah.
The most. Or steak.
I would probably miss beef the most.
Yeah. Yes.
I think that's it. I think so. That's what I would, and dairy. I just not so much cheese, but like cream and half, I would miss.
Have you tried the oatmeal milk?
I've tried. It's just, nothing works with coffee like.
Some of stuff ruins coffee.
Oh, God. You can fuck up a cup of coffee many ways.
I'm trying to think if I hate soy or it's okay. I don't know. I don't like soy much.
No.
And that's it. That's all you need to know about it. Take it and shove it up your ass.
All right. Dan March says, over your careers, what changes to the comedy scene have surprised you? Well, Andy Kindler. What did you see coming a long way off, and what hasn't changed that you thought would?
What do you think?
I definitely saw the crash coming as it was coming in the early 90s.
Yeah.
You could feel that coming. What hasn't changed that I thought I would? I don't know. I mean, I think...
What hasn't changed... You know what? I think it's too...
Andy's staying in a condo next week. That hasn't changed.
Yeah, that's right. What hasn't changed is... There's nothing that hasn't changed so much as there are areas that there are still blind spots that people have. Like, for example, it used to be... I'm very sensitive now to this since it's of how much people would make fun of people's weight. And that's starting to change. And just assumed... that's okay to do, or if someone heavy is eating, make them eat on the show because they're heavy, So but that's starting to change because one of the great things about stand up is all of the that I didn't necessarily see coming, people being able to talk about their sexuality and all that stuff. It seemed like that was way, way more rigid when I started, and that's a great change that people can open stuff up.
Yeah, I think there was always sort of identity comedy, but it's a much different animal now.
Yes.
It was before it was a caricature, and now it's a character. Before if you were gay, you were gay.
Right.
And now it's now it's a topic, not a character.
Right. I think Louis Anderson did a lot with that in the sense that he did a lot of jokes about being...
Yeah, but he never came out. Oh, fat, you mean.
Has he still not come out?
I don't know if he has. He had that blowjob scandal, so that hurt him a little bit in his concealment.
But don't you feel now? I feel nothing but bad about those type of things. I mean, why would I feel good about it? That someone would have to hide their sexuality.
No, it's not good.
It was terrible.
I think it was weird that he wrote like 2 self-help books without coming out. But
the first one was called "Your Inner Truth Must Be Told."
it was kind of that.
The second one was called "If You're Hiding Anything at All About Yourself, You're Not Really Living."
When he sent me after my father died, he sent me a copy of his book "Dear Dad" with letters to his alcoholic
That did not
father.
happen. It didn't happen.
It did happen.
What was the point of that?
Narcissism, I think.
And did he write, "Dear Josh, hope you get as much out of your dad passing"? What did he write in the thing? Or did he write nothing?
I can't remember. He did write something. It came through Paul Feig. Paul Feig was working on a show with him, and he gave the book to Paul to give to me.
What did Paul think about it?
I don't remember.
Right. Oh,
Why
my God.
implicate Paul?
What's that?
Why implicate Paul?
No, not implicate. Was he going to throw it in the garbage? I mean, Paul just was the middleman.
Yes.
Yeah. It's better than if he gave you his book of dad jokes.
Is it?
No. Do you think it was completely an inappropriate thing, or did you say to yourself, well, I think he's trying to reach out?
I think it was a combination of those things. I
Yeah.
think it was him trying to reach out narcissistically.
No, but how'd you receive it? Did you receive it like, what's this?
I
guy?
received it with an eye roll, but I was in an eye roll period about Louis at the time too. We had our little falling out at that point.
Now you're okay now, right?
I guess.
You don't see him.
I think we'd be pleasant if we saw him.
I saw him recently.
I've seen him since, and it's been perfectly pleasant. Mad City Architect says, do you remember when Louis Armstrong sang a duet with Susan Powell's father-in-law covering The Boxer by Simon and Garfunkel? What the fuck?
You know what he was talking about with Susan Powell?
Yeah.
Why would you sing about the disappearance of Susan Powell?
You were the one who did Susan Powell's father, but you just don't remember.
Oh, yes. The singer.
Yes.
I love you. So you are the delightly lady, love. You didn't look at me when you did not return my love.
Sing it, Susan Powell's father-in-law.
Okay, person for the Muppets. Who's that from the Muppets? That sounds a little bit like. It sounds a little bit like Cookie Monster, right? That you were doing there.
That was my Louis Armstrong.
Can I say something to you? Is the definition of a whore the fact that you will accommodate any request? You know what I mean? You're a whore. That was the joke. You'll do anything anyone asks you. Sold yourself to the. Don't make me hang on my own petard.
I don't know. You're the one calling me a whore.
I just think that.
I don't think
You don't like it, right?
I don't feel like I have to defend myself for trying to entertain our audience.
I apologize. You know what? You're right.
Thank you. Stand By Your Man says the fact that I'm 7 shows behind because I haven't watched the Dylan doc, but I can't motivate to watch the doc so I can catch up on the show I sincerely enjoy has made me wonder if I have OCD or maybe some spicy anxiety.
I think it's more
Andy,
ADHD.
how do you live like this?
I think that's more ADHD.
Yeah.
Because you want to do all these things and then it depends on 2 things. First of all, I sometimes get in that mood where I can't listen to one more episode of something for a while. Like the Case Files guy, I got burnt out on it.
Yeah.
So, but in this case, he seems to still like the podcast. But I think it's hard to watch movies sometimes. There's still so many things I haven't seen.
Yeah.
And it's a weird deal because you think it's going to be.
By the way, let's homework next week. Let's do the David Crosby doc that you wanted to see so much, which is now on iTunes.
It is?
Yes.
Oh, great. Please.
I already rented it. I haven't watched it yet.
I love that guy.
Not Tweet Bahara. He's posting a resend from last week because he got it in late. Here it is. I heard the next movie project is a reboot with the 2 of you guys as nasty but likable ghosts trying to chase living people out of a house. It's called Beetlejuice. Pretend I leaned in on that delivery.
I love that. he's or should be. Why don't we have writers? And he should be one of the writers.
All right. When that happens.
Has anybody given us a cup of coffee in a million years?
I think so. I think we got one today. I don't know if we got a new subscriber.
Yeah. Should I hit it harder on my Twitter
I don't know.
feed?
We'll check it out at the end. Yeah, okay. Maybe once in a while. Seizure Romero says Dennis Miller, quote, and friends, Martin Short, Dana Carvey, Rita Wilson, and Jay Leno, no Bill O or Hannity, will be hosting movies on TCM on Fridays in November. Excited? Cha-cha?
Who are they're not all hosting them together, are they?
They are. Dennis Miller and friends.
Oh, that's bad. I like the friends. Some of the friends. Is it Dana Carvey one of the friends?
He's one of the friends. Yeah.
Who else?
Rita Wilson, Jay Leno, Martin Short.
I love Martin Short. How could Martin Short stand to be with Dennis Miller for 1 second?
Hey, Martin, let's do a Cheetah Rivera movie.
Dennis Miller, let me just say this to America.
What are you going to say?
He's never going to come back from being a horrible human. It doesn't matter what he does. He needs to retire or apologize. That's his two choices. What do you think of that, Dennis Miller?
I think that's your opinion, Rasputin, the mad Jew monk.
Do you know that it has to be said on some level that he has been reduced to what he is currently now? Reference, hate. Hate, reference. Hate, reference. The Marquis decide and the Democrats are like it. That's all he is. I've reduced him to a cartoon. Fuck him. I'm sorry.
And we're moving on.
I thought you were going to cut me off earlier.
No, why would I?
I mean, like at the pilot.
Shiftless Element says, any thoughts / stories on the late Robin Harris? Just re-listened to part of his BB's Kids album. Great mix of one-liners, long-form jokes, and confrontational crowd work. Also brilliant and do the right thing. I feel like he isn't talked about / appreciated enough.
I think he's brilliant. I saw him live and he was brilliant. And I really loved him. He's just a person that I need to become more familiar with.
It's hard to keep actively appreciating someone who's been dead.
I guess that's how Christianity didn't get started. All right. I think I put you down.
Counterpoint.
But I think Robin Harris did get his due, but I think, it's hard to keep him relevant in the conversation a lot of the time.
I think he may have been what's it called?
Appreciated?
Not underappreciated,
Rated?
Yes.
Ugh.
You hate that word?
I do.
Because people say it about me?
They say nothing else.
Don't they say that?
Oh, no, overrated. That's
right.
Right, sorry.
You always get those mixed up.
Yes.
People always say Andy's not. Oh, no, they say he's a jerk. I always get those mixed up.
All right.
That was the most perfunctory right I've ever heard you say, because I made no sense. And you pulled it out of the fire. But I would like, when I hear this is the type of thing that I feel like the other guy who's 8 episodes behind, this is how I feel. This is where that starts to kick in. I should know more Robin Harris. Right. I should see more things. I did Do the Right Thing like 4 times. So
That's
I do.
Enough.
Yeah, and I love that movie. But I won't see it a 5th time. I'm lying about seeing it.
That would be the right thing.
I'm lying about seeing it 4 times.
Yeah.
I've seen it twice or 3. Twice.
Okay. Now, for real.
Twice.
Andy.
No, really twice, because I think if I went with 4, it's definitely saw it more than once. I have to be honest. I've seen it more than once.
I want you and your brother and sister to go to your room until you get this straight.
Using my childhood memory as a tactic now.
Yes.
Thank God. Was it Yoshi who felt for me, or was it not Tweet Bahara?
Some parents are awful, Josh.
Yeah, you ever think of that?
David says, I've heard many young comics bemoaning the death of comedy after the Shane Gillis affair. But if racist comedy is dead, how do you explain the re-election of Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau?
Is he really... This sounds like a right-wing guy. Who is it?
David.
Isn't that a right-wing guy? I think he's just making a
David.
joke. No. A right-wing guy would say, if racism is dead, he said that's how he's
racist
defining...
comedy is dead.
That's how he's defining Trudeau as a guy who made racist jokes.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
in this context.
Well, I just took it as I just felt bad for a second for Trudeau, and then I realized I don't understand why he did dress up that way. But I also
A lot.
the interesting thing is he dressed that way for his acceptance speech. I'm glad he won though, because the other guy was terrible.
This is true.
Boy, did I answer that question good.
Oof.
Oh,
Ooh, let's take a break.
oh.
Okay.
Let's start taking a second break.
All right, and we're back. David Gogo says, what are we going to do when all the great 60s rock stars are gone?
Well,
I don't know. If I would say that no one has trained us better to deal with their passing than 60s rock stars. They started early.
that's absolutely true. Can you think of any other field or time period where a lot of people died? I can say people who died.
Every one of them.
What's that?
Every time period.
Well, not every
A lot
time.
of people died from it.
That's true, but like when Fran Lebowitz was talking about on some show about how AIDS had so many brilliant artists died from AIDS, I never thought about that. That's like a once in a many, many lifetimes thing where all the people of one group who are also artistic people.
Right. But drugs took out a huge amount of people.
Always, you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, but particularly 60s and on.
And also the fact that there is a connection between creativity and wanting to do drugs. I mean, I feel it myself too. I like to just smoke pot and write stuff. It's not good stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering why would you? I'm wondering like are more people in this field? Well, also you have money. It's also that you have money. You know, like if you're very, very
Well, it's also
successful.
that you're famous.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, in the sense that we know that you died of an OD.
Right.
You know.
I feel like there before the grace of God go I, because I think in my earlier life I did take things like at Grateful Dead concerts I didn't know what the hell they were.
I think there's a lot of paths I could have gone down that would have resulted in me being heavily addicted to something. I think if I would have stayed a road comic, I would have ended up a drug addict or an alcoholic. I think if I would have stayed in writing rooms for years and years, I bet I would have started taking pills of some kind.
Wow, that's interesting.
You know, but, you know.
Yeah.
Instead, I've taken myself out of those situations where I feel like there's no light at the end of the tunnel for me, you know?
Right. And I've learned through therapy that I can say to myself that I do self-medicate at times without it meaning I'm a horrible person and you should never smoke pot again.
Right.
Because when I'm able to slow it down and listen to the feedback, which is, oh, well, Josh doesn't like it because you're unfocused.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Oh, yeah. It's like, it's weird because most people I'm sure don't have the same internal dialogue that I have about things, you know, about what, you know, scared to do things or scared that I'll get addicted to things or whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. I think more people have that than you think.
Right. Well, they have that, but I mean, like, when you go to the point where you assume either one way or the other way, I should stop forever or whatever, and like
Right.
you don't see it as
Black and white-ism.
Yeah. Not everyone has black and whiteism, but everybody has. Many, many people share they could be on the edge of being addictive.
Yeah. Dan Wade says, "Hey guys, I took your advice from last week's show and watched Kids Court. It could have been a hit if they only had spelled it with an apostrophe. There's no kids. It's not a possessive kids, I don't think."
Oh, that they might have. That's still a surprise to me that didn't go. I don't know why. I just thought, oh, it's really hilarious.
Yeah.
This should be on TV.
Oh well.
What was your reaction to it? That it didn't. You didn't get. You weren't like me. I naively sometimes get super excited if this is great.
I thought it came out great. I did. I thought it came out very well, but I didn't necessarily think it was automatically a TV show. I thought,
That's an interesting point.
You know, I thought the format it was in, it should have gotten more. Like as a web show, it worked.
Right.
You know, I would have liked to have done more, like we did, with a more comfortable puppet situation.
Yeah.
A.D. Morgan says, I have been happily thinking now and then of your unexpected success with the Fiddling Horse and smiling. I hope you both do the same now and then. I'd also like to hear Gregory Peck say the name of his favorite type of jazz, bebop, over and over again.
Bebop. Bebop.
Does Bobby like bebop?
I would have gone with fusion. Fusion.
Bobby.
Bobby, bring me my Spyro Gyra album.
What you're saying is what A.D. Morgan is saying is something that I do remind myself about and feel good. I'd say at least a few times every day I think about it, and I'm still very happy.
Yeah.
I wasn't super frightened, but I was pleasantly thrilled. That I could watch the whole thing and it went fast and it was fun. And
Yeah, you were good.
thank you. You too.
You were
I love this.
You were waiting for like a knife to come out after I said you were good.
But I still like you when you click. Ooh, I love that kind of, I'm talking, I'm doing?
I don't know what
Let's get it out of our system. Ooh, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you say you were on a plane. I love the whole thing where you take Johnny Torito down the thing where you go, oh, did you pay for your? It's almost like I wouldn't sell or buy a timeshare.
What?
Fractional ownership.
That's okay. It's my character. No.
But I love maybe because I sold soap for so many years, I could watch hours of that kind of thing, like the Tin Men.
Good.
Used Cars was pretty funny. I don't know if it still holds up.
That was
Kurt Russell?
and
Yeah.
Jack Warden. Scary Harold said, hey, you Oscar baiters, if all your music was to get erased, what's the first album you download? Wow.
I don't know. Beatles?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Any album that I would name, I could name another album that I would also like to have downloaded. Tumbleweed Connection.
But what are the albums that are like your security blankets?
Bookends.
Bookends, S&G. Mine might be like Stop Making Sense.
Yeah. I feel that way about a couple of the REM albums, but I haven't heard them in a long time. But I feel like about also like
Graceland's another sort of
Talking Head 77 was pretty amazing.
yeah.
But it's a tough one.
It is a tough one. Good question.
Good question.
Spooky, scary Micheltons? Don't know. I know Jay Elvis isn't a fan of Halloween or Christmas, but Andy is. Are there any holidays Josh likes or Andy hates?
Well, I'm starting to hate Halloween because I've never seen the over. It's been so over commercialized this year. It's actually made me sick a little bit. I know there's holidays that
I'm going as sexy over commercializer this year.
I know there are holidays that I hate. I mean, there are holidays that I ignore. But hate, I can't think of anything that I hate.
Yeah.
That I go, why is this happening?
I kind of feel that way about Halloween.
Any other holidays some of the minor Jewish holidays are boring, but that's
I like the spirit of Passover.
right.
I like that the storytelling aspect of it. I think that's kind of cool. I kind of like Thanksgiving just, again, because of the spirit of it.
Yeah. I would think you'd like Christmas for that reason.
No, because I don't care about the spirit of that. Celebrating the birth of someone who's not my particular deity.
Well, that's not how I celebrate it as the Charles Dickens Christmas, which is that you goodwill to men, peace on earth, goodwill to men. It's a general spirituality. It doesn't have to be. I don't like it when it gets too Jesus oriented. I like Christmas,
But that's what it is.
Not Dickens. Dickens is not. You can be non-denominational and love his message. I don't know. This is whatever argument I'm going with here. It's weak. No. I do think the spirit of Christmas.
But what about the fact that Dickens himself was a raging prick?
He was.
Yeah, horrible apparently.
But he didn't. But he was. Why do you have to ruin Christmas for me? Christmas, I'm just crazy about. What I would like, though, is for new good movie for Christmas, and I haven't seen one in a long time. And it's not these Hallmark ones where the woman goes on a business trip and then she has to meet the guy. And no.
Van Sandwiches says, how did you wind up working on the video with Mike Eagle featuring Lizzo?
That's exciting. I was just thinking about that I didn't even know when I was in a video with Lizzo that I was in a video with Lizzo. It's from I met Open Mike Eagle at like a panel thing, and so we were like got friendly from there. And then when they did the show, they put me on the show, and it was like I had a great time. But
on what show?
It's called the New Negroes.
Okay,
and
with Baron Vaughn.
With Baron Vaughn, and also Baron Vaughn I've known for a long time, so I think that helped too. Both of those guys helped, and I was just in the video. I played an accountant in the video, so it was it was so much fun. But had I known but now I love Lizzo. I didn't know it. I just didn't know who she was.
Yeah.
So now I probably would have been more obnoxious if I did it now. Would I be like, "Hi, Lizzo, I'm a fan."
Right.
Who needs that? I love that those. It was fun. I didn't. I think it's the only music video I've been in, except for the basketball one that we were
volleyball. That horrible thing.
Oh, it was volleyball.
Yeah.
How did we do? Why? And how did we get roped into it?
I don't know. I got roped into it because you got roped into it.
Is that how it worked?
That's how it worked for me.
I'm not doing the sequel.
No. Natri Pahara says, imagine if James Mason did an impression of Gregory Peck. I apologize.
Is he apologizing?
You're insolent Jew. That was Gregory. That was James Mason
Peck.
Doing James Gregory Peck, yes.
Can you do M. Scott Peck, the road less traveled guy? It's funny to do references.
Yeah.
People just like it. Mm-hmm. Can you tell I'm getting tired?
Bilal, star of Last Christmas in cinema November 8th. Hi.
Hi, Bilal.
Are you accepting trick-or-treaters or turning off the lights and hiding?
They never come because I'm in a like apartment situation. What do you do?
I'm debating turning off the lights this year for the first time ever.
Oh,
because it sucks so bad. The dogs go fucking nuts. And I resent.
Well, if you shut the lights off, aren't they going to still bark every time?
No, because no one will. I mean, they'll do some barking, but they won't be like the doorbell bark.
But don't you have people in the neighborhood who will start talking? Go, how come, old man Weinstein.
Maybe he wasn't home, they'll say.
Why don't you not be home? The only way you could do it is to not be home.
I don't know. I like the experiment. I like the idea.
Now, how long does it go for?
About 3+ hours.
And is it ever delightful? You see,
never delightful in my experience.
How about Allison?
She's over it completely. She used to hate it, and then 9/11 happened, and there was a year without trick-or-treaters because of 9/11. And Allison was like, I swear I'll never be bitter about Halloween again. And it took about 2 years, and then she was bitter again.
Yeah, it's a rough one.
I'm sure we'll end up getting candy and answering the door, but
do you when you open the door?
I've never been this close to not as I am this year.
When you open the door, you're pleasant. You're not like,
of course,
yeah. But do you ever say, "Oh,
here you go, you little street urchin motherfuckers. Here's your goddamn free food. You happy? Go tell your parents they suck."
How about but do you ever go, who are you? You don't do that.
I don't do the who are you, but I'm a delightful man. Of course I'm nice to the kids.
That was one of my favorite Adam Sandler bits, was the guy. I'm one who just went around without an actual costume. I'm one-handed man. Give me some of that crazy candy.
Kunatoki says, hello, Josh. Hello, Andy. Greetings from Germany.
Yeah.
What is your favorite month? Mine is March, of course. Just a thought worth spiraling. Alles gut.
I thought he would like October. He's German. Oktoberfest.
No, it's Nazis on the march.
Oh, God. I cannot get jokes. Maybe I need to read them myself.
Derek Faraci says, is being booed at Game 5 of the World Series the biggest heckle of all time?
Yeah, I think it's
Might be.
the most enjoyable heckle ever.
Jumpy Bean says, bada, 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 boo, Bobby.
That's what he wanted. That's what he wanted,
yes.
and he got it.
Mark Thompson says, Andy, Josh, no question this week, just a Michelle Wisecarver patented sincere thank you for the podcast. I've really appreciated listening to your friendship and humor over these 130 episodes, and as a true test head, looking forward to test show 1000.
Yeah. Oh, I just got very scared.
You get a little pit in your stomach when you're...
Yeah. I hope things pick up
We'll be going door to door for 1000.
at that point.
Andrew Sweet says, will Andy's Best Actor Award nomination go to his head, and how will he OCD about it? Well done, the both of you.
I think everything has a danger of going to my head because I think I drift towards narcissism. But the other part of me is what a wonderful guy I am.
Right.
That's also narcissistic.
I got it.
I didn't get it as I was saying
You
it.
didn't have to sell me on the narcissism part. Fletcher says, I caught the Fiddling Horse New York City premiere last week. Happy to have said hello to you both. Other than the obvious sound issues, CJ noted the film was fantastic. I could watch ex-jockey Andy all day, but Allie Mills really stole the show, didn't she?
I think she did. That's why I didn't know if that scene would congeal of the old people, of the point of those people being so obnoxious, and she did great with it, I thought.
She was great, and I think having her in the opening scene puts the whole movie on a nice, credible trajectory. And
the sound problems were more like the soundtrack was too loud or stuff, or is more than that? I mean, the music was a little bit loud.
No, there's more problems than that.
Oh, okay. And has he fixed any of them?
I don't know, but I'm sure he will.
All right, great. Thank you for being there.
Adam Nicollet says, you were in a bagel shop before you were about to record Thought Spiral. How long would it take you to find something on the menu for your co-host? Cell phones are dead.
I don't understand that question. Do you?
I would order Andy a sesame seed bagel with a schmear. I think I'd feel safe with that.
That is good. I'm not as crazy about schmear as I am about actual salmon. And for some reason, I'm really going towards the toasted bagel with butter. I know it's boring, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, but if I was ordering it for you and bringing it, wouldn't that get...
Yeah, that would be
good.
perfect.
It wouldn't be good after... It doesn't travel well toasted.
No. Is it? You have to travel with it?
Yeah, because I'm at the shop and you're not there. I'm getting something for you.
I would toast the bagel and put the butter on the side.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's see if there's any more. Here, let's do one email because there's an email about Sam in Manhattan says, Dear Josh and Andy, first time, long time. My friend and I attended the premiere of The Fiddling Horse in New York this past weekend and thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I was glad to find that your real-life duo dynamic came through on the screen, which is part of what made the film so entertaining. I was also relieved to hear during the Q&A that no horses were abused during the shoot. What was with the super awkward moderator? Anyway, just wanted to lend my kudos, and I hope you both are feeling proud of your nearly finished product. On a different note, I am moving from New York City to Minneapolis in the spring. Josh, can you give me any recommendations for neighborhoods to live in? I'm a 30-year-old single guy starting to age out of the boozy nightlife scene. What am I in for? Do Jews go ice fishing? Please advise.
Well, thank you for the positive feedback. I'm very glad about that.
I thank you for that. And in terms of Minneapolis, I would say there, if you go to, depends how you want to live. You could live in South Minneapolis, where you're going to find a lot of sort of old duplex kind of places you can rent. Get a second floor of a 100-year-old house kind of a place, wood floory kind of thing. If you want more of a loft kind of a thing, warehousey space, then go to the North Loop area, which is around where Acme Comedy Club is. There's a ton of those places there, and you're downtown convenient, but a little bit out of the booze path. Or you can go to Northeast Minneapolis, which is very residential, kind of blue-collary place plenty of good neighborhood bars kind of up there.
That's boozy, though.
It's boozy, but it's not
yeah,
nightclubby.
in your face.
Yeah, it's like a lot of good, like, bars where there's career drinkers there.
The only area I can back you up on is the North Loop.
Uptown is kind of young, boozy people right now, but that's where I liked when I was young, is the Uptown area. But that's
Partyville.
It's a little more Partyville.
Who are you, Fodors?
Yes, I'm Fodors. I'm done, is what I am.
I'm done too, but I would want to know, like, what if you were listening to the show and you wanted to buy us a cup of coffee? What would you do?
I would go to buymeacoffee.com/thoughtspiral and give us a little gift.
And do not feel any pressure to do anything like that. I'm just saying I'm down to my last $12, and I need this more than anything. No. You could also go to iTunes and give us a positive review. That's also, and when I say positive review, how many stars is the most?
5-banger.
You got to 5-banger it. You got to do it.
Oh,
don't go on there and with criticism.
No, we don't need that.
We don't need it.
No, we don't. That's not helping.
That's not where you go.
That's not helping.
No.
If you want to talk to us, send us an email at thoughtspiralshow@gmail.com. If you want to just support me and not Andy, get my album, Chunks.
Which wouldn't be a bad thing to do. And also, if you are in Houston, because this is coming out next Monday, it's too late for Seattle, but I'll be in Houston on November 7th, and I'll be in Lincoln November 8th and 9th. Please, if your thoughts spiral, come on down, and I will spend time with you, and we'll laugh about Josh, and we'll make secret statements about Josh. Or come down.
Go down there and defend me. How about that?
Yes.
How about that? Go down there and heckle Andy in my behalf.
Also, if there's one person on the Buy Me a Cup of Coffee who'd like to just give us $1 million or something, can you take that much?
We can take that much. You just have to put 200,000 cups of coffee. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for being a spiraler. Thanks so much for making us want to do this every week.
That was very good.
Single week.
Now you make don't erase. No. You started out
it
makes it sound.
Oh God!
You're
when is it gonna end? Someone said 1,000 episodes. What the fuck? Oh God!
No, don't.
I'm bearing down.